Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go.
Hey y'all, hey, we are back. I was about to say sisters, but we are not back with sisters. We are back for All the Queen's Men. We're on season 3, episode 3, because I forgot 1 and 2 came out last week. My bad. Anyway, we are on season 3. I'm excited that it's back because it is all the drama that I need from another Tyler Perry production. So we're going to just jump right into it. I'm going to try to do a very, very quick brief recap of end of season 2, episodes 1 and 2 kind of combined. Let's just jump right into it. We know that Blue got shot by Concierge's brother. Rudolph, whatever his name is, Concierge's brother. He's fresh out of prison. He's a little bit crazy. So he did shoot Blue. Blue was sleeping with this new lady she met at the club. Turns out it was Concierge's brother's wife. Okay, we're gonna call him Raphael because I don't remember his name. Raphael's wife. And so they were able to track her down, and they shot Blue. She fell out of a window at the end of last season. Turns out she had on a bulletproof vest. So my girl made it through last season. Amp has unalived the girl accidentally because he was screwing her in the locker room, and her hair, her brain, or whatever got penetrated by a hook, and now they had to get rid of the body. He has now been able to wrangle, Dime and Midnight have gotten wrapped up in this. The dude that they had to rescue in trouble, they walked in, they saw it, so now there's more people, involved in this thing, and it's just a shit show. Madam has electrocuted the judge because she kept trying her gangster, and she has also unalived the concierge's wife because she kept trying Madam as well. And we knew that this was going to start an all-out war because concierge works for mafia type people, and so we're all screwed at this point. Madam's father, we know that he's under investigation by the FBI, and he's been pretending to be comatose of sorts, like can't talk, can't speak. However, his caregiver has been being inappropriate and performing fellatio on him, and he's decided he's going to use this to his advantage. And at the end of the last episode, he decided, I'm going to break the act for a little while because he's been pretending this the whole time because he doesn't want to go to federal prison. He decides that he's going to break character and confront her in the midst of her performing fellatio. All right, so yeah. And so that is what we pick up in episode 3. So let's jump right into it. Season 3, episode 3, entitled No Way Out. All right. As I mentioned, Madam's father has talked to the lady, he's broken his character. So all before he's just been, staring off into the sunset. This is his guise, as if he's, like I said, comatose of sorts, like can't move on his own, can't talk, can't speak or anything else because he doesn't want to go to federal prison. But he says, I'm going to capitalize off of this nurse being inappropriate, and now I'm about to, make her do what I say. So he's talking to the lady, and he's like, you's a old nasty something or another. And she's just rendered speechless because she thought he was, incapacitated as well. And he's asking, like, girl, what is wrong with you? Like, how many other people are you doing this to that you think are in a state, that are in a state that you thought I was in? And he is appalled, that she would do that. And so basically he has her between a rock and a hard place, and he's telling her, like, yeah, I'm gonna use you to my advantage because I got you, in a hard place. You have to do what I say because you don't want to get told on, which for me, if I was her, that doesn't make sense because, sir, in order for you to tell on me, you have to tell on yourself. So do you really have any leverage? Anyway, then, she's just sitting there, trying to explain herself, and he hauls off and slaps the girl and reminds her, like, you do know that I am a pimp. So I guess at some point in his life, he was a pimp, and he is a foul-mouthed old lady. Like, he's calling this lady, like, I might have counted 20 B words in the midst of this little 5-minute segment, and goes on to make her finish the job. Okay, so the job that she had been performing to him earlier, he tells her, you get back there and you finish, and if I feel any teeth, I'm going to snatch your head one by one. So I see where Madam got her ruthlessness from, and that, it makes it a little bit more clear for me because obviously he is a piece of work. And so that's how we open up as episode 3. Back at the club, Tommy is mad because Madam hired like some top flight security, like some Secret Service type people to watch over her until we figure out what concierge is playing this, because we know he's gonna start an all-out war, and he's coming for her head. And so she has these extra people in place, just for added security. She's a little nervous. She's a little rattled. I mean, she did what she had to do, but it came at a cost. Joe, the new security guard, he's worried about the dancers, but she assures him, like, listen, they'll bleed for me. They will die for me. These dancers are loyal. And he pulls out a picture of Fuego. He's like, what about this one? And she was like, well, what about him? And he tells her, like, listen, we saw him talking to the cops. What you need done? She's like, no, I'm already on it. Like, I got it. I already knew that. I'm good to go. And then Blue shows up, and Blue needs to show her something, and there's some money that's tagged. And so she uses the black light, and there's BRB on there, which is the Black Rock Boys, which I think is a street gang that her dad used to run or head or be over, that she's now running in his absence, quote unquote. And so she realizes, like, hey, these are my boys, which means this is my money, which means this is my money that was stolen from me, the other half of my $2 million that went missing last season. And not only that, somebody's brave enough and they're spending it in my club. So you're giving my money back to me by way of spending it dollar by dollar in the club. Blue was able to find a couple bills, and now they're on a mission to, see who it was that was spending the money. They don't know just yet, and they don't find out by the end of this episode, but whoever it is, obviously they're like a regular, and they have something whoever it is has got to be really close to home, because they're spending the money at her place that they stole from her place, basically. All right. Casanova's going MIA. He was supposed to come back to the club, to let Madam know, to mess with the paperwork that the DA has, and to let Madam know what he found. However, he has not showed up. He was supposed to be back earlier, and he has not made it back to the club. And so we know that Madam has the blackmail photos on him from last season, a couple episodes, however long ago. And he pops up in the detective's car, and she's like, well, why are you here? I know that you tampered with my computer and a lot of my evidence is missing. He was like, no, I just was looking to see what you have, and it seems like your case is not, not that strong. I ain't do it, blah, blah, blah. Of course, sir, we know you're the only person that did it. And then she doesn't listen. My files have been modified. A lot of my evidence is messed up. Even though most of it was already circumstantial, you ain't bringing nothing new, even though you're undercover. So it's a wrap for you. I'm taking you off the case, and we're going to head downtown to kind of sort through what the hell you got going on, because obviously being an officer is not at the forefront of what you need to be doing, and you have been corrupted. All right. So back at the club, Trouble is being her creepy self as usual. She goes to the men's locker room, the top four, Fab Four, whatever you want to call them, and tells them that they're ungrateful. Basically, so now she's pseudo proved her loyalty by way of, so last episode 1 or 2, the girl that Amp killed by accident, Amp and Midnight they gotta take her body out of there, dump it, take it to whoever they need to take to, the butcher or whatever it is, to get it out. And the DA pulls them over, and in order for all this to not go awry, Trouble decides, hey, I'm gonna prove my loyalty, and she sideswipes the DA. So now they gotta take their attention off of Amp and Midnight and chase her down. But now, Trouble, she was able to get away, so nobody kind of went down that night, and now she thinks she done proved her set. She thinks she done got jumped in at this point, and she's just entitled to all the perks of the club because she's proven this one little piece of loyalty, which is absolutely not the case, but that's what she thinks. And so she tells the guys, like, hey, y'all are ungrateful, and she's just talking too much, and so they kind of shoo her away. So the guys are in there talking, and of course Doc, Babyface, and Fuego don't know what she's talking about, so now they got to get caught up on it. But first they start by apologizing to Fuego, Doc, and Babyface, because they tried to unalive him, because that was the instructions that Madam gave them a couple episodes ago, because they thought Fuego was snitching on them. But what Fuego was doing was trying to basically like give the cops enough information, but not enough to lead them to the club. So basically he was saying he showed up at home, and these people broke in and forced him to shoot his girlfriend, blah, 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 but he don't know them. No, it's not tied to Madam. So giving them just enough to not incriminate Madam, in the club. And of course, the lady didn't buy it. So to them, it looks like he's snitching. And so he has to go, which kind of sort of not really the case. But, they don't want you talking to the cops at all. Either way, the Madam realizes like he didn't really snitch. So she canceled the hit on him. But it was almost too late. And Doc was finna end him. But, they were unsuccessful. So they had to go back and apologize to him and say, my bad, I almost killed you. It's my bad. I'm sorry. And he's like, whatever, stop talking to me. And then they tell the other guys what happened. Midnight has to tell them about Amp catching the body the night before and having to move it and Trouble. And Face is like, listen, I'm not buying that Trouble's proved her loyalty. She really thinks she's in deeper than she actually is, which means, she could become a pest because she feels like she down with the gang and she not privy to everything. She could talk too much, basically, even though she's done the solid. So that reasonable suspicion to have, but we'll see what comes of that. Fuego is outside. He's sulking as usual. Like, sir, you have to realize like you're pinned in the situation. There is no out. Just chalk it up. I mean, you get square meals a day. You living pretty good. You trapped. You trapped in the situation. Just make the best of it. But he's outside sulking as usual, and him and Amp are outside talking, and they commiserate over them being so close to being out of all of this stuff that is Madam in the club, and they just ended up deeper in. And unfortunately, that is the there's some noise behind me. That is the web of confusion that is a Madam. That it's unfortunate, but your loyalty is either bought or it's forced when it comes to her. And so now they're all stuck. Amp reminds him like, hey, Madam not letting you out. He's like, well, what do you mean? I'm still one out. And he's like, listen, she thrives off of loyalty. Whether she's loyal to you or not doesn't really matter. She thrives off us being loyal to her, and she's not going to let you go easily. Like it'll come to a bitter end, and we just got to ride it out. We really have no choice. And now Fuego's like, okay, well, what if I run to wherever he's from? And he's like, I mean, she's connected everywhere. Like, what do you mean she's going to get to you? You just got to make the most of it. And then he tells Amp about dead Sandra, his girlfriend, blah, 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 more commiserating. And Amp tells him, like, listen, I got your back. I ain't going to let too much happen to you. We kind of stuck in this thing together. I don't really know what that's about because Amp has been giving terribly selfish this season. So I doubt that he truly has Fuego's back. But we'll see. I guess we'll see how that goes. I don't think Amp has anybody's interest at heart other than in his own, because he realizes also that he's stuck, so he don't care about the PO finding out that he's doing drugs and all the other stuff. So I don't know. I doubt that he truly does have his back, but we'll see. All right, Trouble is being annoying yet again, and she's talking to Madam and Blue, and Madam's like, I don't feel like talking, but she's gonna force the subject. And she wants to know, like, hey, y'all hating on me because I'm a girl? Because the only people that get on the main stage is them little funky ass dudes y'all got in the back. And y'all hating, like, I'm not getting no money because I ain't on the main stage. Like, what's the problem? And they tells her, like, girl, just wait your turn. You brand new. But she was like, okay, we're Pretty Ricky from Louisiana. Like, he on the main stage, like, what's going on? Okay, girl, this is not your business. And you can't tell these people how to run the show. You just feel like, again, you're entitled to things because you've proved your loyalty, quote unquote. But, you might want to chill because Madam ain't too much on threats, or, you being persistent, so I need you to calm down. Anyway, and Madam tells her, listen, you don't know how to wait. You think you've proved that you are down, but that's your first step. You've only made one baby step towards, earning anything. So you need to learn how to shut your mouth and wait your turn. Like, you're rushing and you're talking too much. You're not appeasing the lady, so you're not reaching your full earning potential. And I need you to calm down. I need you to pipe down. And what I also want to tell you to do is, if you mention last night one more time, you're not going to be able to walk to the main stage. Basically, so if you keep talking, you keep running your mouth, your legs going to get broken. That's the threat. So you won't have to worry about any of this because I'm handling you because you're talking too much. And so I need you to learn. And so we hope she got the message, but Blue and Madam confirms to us, like, she ain't gonna learn. She never gonna learn. She gonna do too much at all times, and we'll just deal with that later on. All right. Concierge's brother, Mr. Ferdinand. Sure. Ferdinand calls Blue and he says, yeah, I heard you made it. It's now my personal mission to come, off you myself. I'm a delight in it. And Blue's like, oh, you mad because I was, doing what I was doing to your girl? You mad? You know why I'm mad. Meet me in the parking lot. We'll handle this. We'll settle the score for once and for all. And he claims, my wife now means nothing to me because you touched her, and I'm going to take the light and, send the life drain out of you. Just talking real cash money shit to each other. And so now there is a war within a war that is happening down here to the club. I was about to say down to the paint. Not the paint. Calm down, girl. Not till 2024 or 5, whenever the hell they decide to come back. So the DA is grilling Casanova, and we all know for sure that he compromised everything that they have. And she wants to know, like, hey, what does she have on you? What did she say to get you to convert to her side? Like, what's tea? What's going on? And now they want to charge you with tampering with evidence, and because everything that they have outside of what he messed with is circumstantial. So they're not going to have a leg to stand on because, of course, she has the best lawyers and judges and everybody else on her payroll. So he blew it. He's blowing it for them. It's the long and the short of it. And so he begs for more time, and they told him, like, listen, you're done. You're done. And he's like, listen, if I don't show up tonight, I'm going to lose the trust that I have with them. I can get you something, but you got to give me a little bit more time. And they're like, listen, you've had enough time. And you screwed us in the process. So we're going to go ahead and hold you in contempt, and we're going to charge you with tampering with evidence. And we're just going to be done with that. So, that might be the end of Mr. Casanova. Hopefully it doesn't cost him his life, because we know for sure that Madam is able to touch you even in jail. Somebody will go to jail, end up in jail to, do what Madam needs done. So good luck. Tommy goes to Madam and confirms that, yeah, I haven't been able to find Casanova. You should have let me kill him when I wanted to. And, because he's going to give us up. And she's like, nah, I don't believe that he is. I got the gift of foresight or whatever. And I don't think that, the cops haven't busted him yet. I don't think he's going to do it. He might give him something, but he's not going to give him enough, to come kicking in the door. So we'll just have to deal with him at a later date. I'm not too worried about it. And for someone that's running a multi-million-dollar criminal enterprise, she's not particularly worried about a whole lot of people until shit go far left. I don't know. Like, a lot of things she's like, I'll worry about it later. And it's giving very much reactive and not proactive. And I need a little bit more proactivity. Like Concierge has told her, like, listen, you got to play chess. This is a chess game. And I need you to, use that. And maybe she did mention chess in the episode, so maybe she'll get to that aspect. We'll hope in the coming episodes. All right. Blue also tells Madam about the threat that, Ferdinand or Fitzgerald, whatever his name is, told her. And she's only concerned about what Concierge is up to. And again, we'll deal with him when we get to it, but we ain't worried about it. I'm not worried about him at all either. Madam is home, and someone calls her, and it's the Nurse Johnson, calling about her dad. And then he gets on the phone. He says, listen, this lady, just what I suspected. She was topping me off, and she was being real nasty or whatever. So now I got her by the balls, and she has to do what I say. So the messages that I'm going to send is going to come from her. She now, on the payroll, and she better do what I say. And Madam's like, listen, you better be glad that my dad is sparing you, because if he had not, I would come down there and blow your cap off, because you're nasty, but we're going to use you up for the time being. All right. Blue and Tommy are leaving the club, and they know that something ain't right, because one of the street lights are out, and Blue's like, no, that's from the shootout that we had. And Tommy's like, nah, because he's intricately involved, and he knows that Madam has already had that fixed. So that tells me something ain't right. And Blue's like, listen, we in it now. Just buckle down. You got your stuff on you. We'll do what we got to do with whatever happens out the shadows. And so they walk up to, which I'm presuming to be Blue's car, and there's somebody in the back seat. It's a dead body in the back seat, and it is Federico's wife in the back. And of course, he's already killed her because he deems her no longer useful for him because Blue has touched her. And then a bomb goes off, so they blow up the car. And of course, it looks like Blue and Tommy were able to get away. But that's probably like his little message, like, all right, The war is on. I'm going to get you by any means necessary. And so now this is, again, like I said, it's a war within a damn war, because we're fighting the cops. We're fighting the DA. We're fighting concierge. Now we're fighting his brother. And so that's just what we have to deal with. And, we know that. Okay, so now that the dad has a way to talk to her, he's going to be able to communicate with her and help her kind of, wiggle her way from under this whole mafia situation. And that might, in turn snowball and kind of fix everything else on its own. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, excited about the season. That was season 3, episode 3. This show starts off with a lot of action, so a lot to go over. But anyway, I'm excited. Let me know what you think about the episode. Like, comment, share, subscribe, or whatever it is that you feel like doing. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.
Go, 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 go.